Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Read RWBY Before the Dawn, a lovely book by E.C. Myers. As you can see today I am joined in full face by our dear friend Molly, otherwise known as Sync. I cannot currently hear her because my headphones are off. I will put them on shortly. But in our last reading, Sun got his tush kicked severely by a number of disreputable foes and was rescued summarily by Velvet and Yatsuhashi. It was then decided afterwards that he would basically invade their investigation, and they were kind of like, no. But then he's like, I insist, and they're like, crap, we can't stop you. And that's basically what happened in the last two chapters. And now I'm going to stop talking in this posh accent and get my headphones on, because I can't take that up forever. That's backwards. Alright, how is everyone doing tonight? Today. Tonight. That's it. Tonight and today. Also, I have my headphones back on. Molly, you may speak.
Cool.
So I can actually hear you. Yes. Okay. They are trying to hunt the villains from the last book. Oh, right, that's right. The villains from the last book escaped custody. Off screen.
I've never face camped anything before, so I'm like in a weird, like, there's a light right in my face. So that's why I'm looking around everywhere like a stunned animal.
You'll get used to it.
Also, I just got back from 3 hours of shopping.
Oh, I didn't know that. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah,
H&M sale, baby.
Let's try and wait till we get 20 concurrent viewers. Wow, that was fast. All right, there we go. So, should we just hop right into it? Do you think?
I guess so.
Any comments from the last chapter, aside from, like, the weird hiccup where they relabeled the guy's name from brown to silver, even though it's not really his name, or...
Oh, that was so weird.
It was like, that's a typo that's, like, very easy to catch.
There's no editing in these. This is a fan fiction.
I mean, yeah, I mean, just... I don't know, something about this book is just off already. The last one was okay, but I think having Sun, Neptune, and the rest of Team Sun there is going to be detrimental overall. But we'll see. Chapter 2. Velvet was glad that Sun was helping them for now, if only because it was nice to have someone who knew how to get around the city. It kept changing so much, it was difficult to map the street on scrolls, and she kept getting lost in her nightly patrols. Wait, it does it change overnight? Do the buildings, like, get up and walk around?
Remember that episode of Fairly Odd Parents where Timmy's like, I wish I could stay up all night, and then he sees, like, the street cleaners turning into, like, Transformers?
Oh, yeah.
I think that.
Like so much in Vacuo, you just had to get used to it, or ask people for directions. Only, nothing advertised you were an outsider more than asking for directions. Sometimes people would point them in the wrong direction just to mess with them. Wow, dick move.
If you ask for directions in like Tel Aviv, you know what they say?
What?
They go down the street, take a left, and ask the next person.
Oh, really?
I've heard that a couple times, yeah.
Damn. I was gonna say, like, in Japan, like, it sounds like it has a very similar layout to, like, Japan, where it's just, like, you know, the roads are just going everywhere and don't have, like... I mean, they don't really have traditional road names in Japan, for example, unless you get really metropolitan. Really? Yeah. Everything's done by districts. So, like, getting directions is, like, a necessity, even when you're, like, local, sometimes. So people are very nice.
How do they address things?
By prefecture. I don't understand how it works either. It's
no, like, if you sent a package, where do you send it?
Shibuya Ward, Hayasari Prefecture, and then I think there's a way to get more specific than that. But I don't know how it works exactly. Japanese postage scares me. I don't know if I told this on stream before, but like when I was over in Japan, I lost my wallet. No, I didn't lose my wallet. I left my debit card in America, and I had to have it shipped to me, and I was super worried about it getting there. Luckily, it just wound up at, a FedEx building, but, I was nerve-wracking. All right. So, yeah, we're probably getting off track. We gotta actually talk about the book. Sun moved so quickly through the labyrinth of unpaved streets and shadowy alleys that Velvet and the others had to hurry to keep up. At night, those narrow passages were a nightmare to navigate, even dangerous depending on who was lurking in them. Velvet preferred to travel across the low rooftops wherever possible, which made it less likely she would get turned around. But in the daytime, she saw that there was some order and reason to the crowded buildings. Even though the brick and stone structures were usually no more than a few stories tall, they cast shadows that helped cool you when you traveled. It was a walking city, not that large from end to end, but with a lot packed in. The only quiet time was midday, when the sun was highest and hottest, and all the shops shut down for a couple of hours.
It was like a Mediterranean city.
Yeah.
You got siesta. Wait, I thought that Mistral was the Mediterranean one.
I don't know. I mean, this is like desert, so maybe this is like South Mediterranean, like, Egypt, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
This is you.
Oh, it's Velvet. You know this place so well. Did you grow up here?
Velvet asked Sun as she followed him. My family and I moved around a lot, he said. My dad didn't like the city. I didn't come here till I was older. Out in the desert, Velvet knew clans rarely settled in place for long unless there was some reason to. A rare oasis, say, or a CCT relay. Something worth defending. A place to call home until you were forced to move on. A lot of the philosophy of Vacuo focused on making the best of what you had for as long as you could hold on to it. Velvet glanced back at Coco, Yatsuhashi, and Fox. I don't really like the city either, Sun said. At least not this one. It cramps my sow, literally. He likes climbing things, Neptune offered. The city's too small for much climbing. Velvet wondered how he could have forgiven Sun, sticking by him like nothing had happened. Scarlet and Sage were trailing behind the group as if trying to show they weren't really with them. Didn't you say your cousins... What?
And it's like, they actually mentioned, like, man, it's kind of fucked up that Neptune just forgave him.
Well, I think it's implied that there's still some chilling there that's not quite being addressed yet, but, like, he's, for the most part, acting normal. So I'm wondering where they're going with that. We'll see. Didn't you say your cousin's dojo was around here? Neptune asked. Sun's face paled.
Ew, can we see it?
Velvet asked. It was pretty clear Sun didn't want to talk about it. I'd rather not, he said. It's probably not even here anymore. I'm not sure if I remember where it used to be. The city changes so often. You have family here, and you haven't told them you're back, Yatsuhashi asked. Scarlet laughed. That's Sun for you. Velvet puffed her cheeks and sighed. She was grateful that Team Coffee had worked out their past difficulties. She didn't know what she would do without her friends. They knew one another as well as Sun knew the streets of this city. Sun lowered his head and his tail dragged behind him. Velvet decided to rescue him, again.
So you don't like this city? Is that why you decided not to attend Shay? Velvet
asked. She knew why Fox had left Vacuo for Beacon, but he hadn't lived here the way Sun had. For Velvet, going to her local academy had made the most sense. No, Sun cast a sidelong glance at her. I left because I was tired of looking at it. He turned around and pointed. Wherever you turn, there it is. Velvet looked behind them. Sure enough, she spotted the top of Shade Academy rising above the roofs, even though she could have sworn it was west of them. She really had no sense of direction here. Yeah, you have a terrible sense of direction to begin with. If that, like, holy crap, getting turned around is not that... I've never found it super hard. Not super easy to get turned around. I don't get lost easily. There, that's the phrase I was looking for. Shade Academy was the exception to whatever building codes there may once have been in the city of Vacuo. As the tallest structure for hundreds of miles around, it cast a long shadow in more ways than one. Right now, its awnings were fully extended, shielding the citizens below from the brutal sun. Wait, isn't it a pyramid? How does that work? Does it have like a big flag?
Pyramids are. They have that building in Paris that's a pyramid specifically because it doesn't cast a shadow.
Yeah, like the CCT is like the CCT sticking out of it, as I understand it. So is it like a giant like pirate sail? I'm trying to get a visual on this because I think the CCT is like right around the building. I don't know what good the CCT tower is at this point, anyway.
World building. Oh.
The campus was surrounded by a low wall. Oh, maybe we're getting to description. We'll see. Was surrounded by a low wall, which severely served mainly to mark boundaries, and perhaps to send a message, just like Scarlet and Sage were doing now. We're a part of you, but we're separate. Wow, you know, feel bad for those kids, the separated parents. You know, it's like that's the phrase some children hear, and that means they get 2 Christmases now.
No.
Like the city itself, the academy packed in a lot, vertically, with classrooms and academic spaces in 3 tiers. The headmaster Theodore's office at the apex, which also housed CCT transmitter. Okay. Shade Academy and Theodore himself were the center of everything in Vacuo, holding it together. All right, well, I'm going to read that sentence again. Like the city itself, the academy packed in a lot, vertically, with classrooms and academic spaces in 3 tiers. And Headmaster Theodore's office at the apex. All right, the structure of that sentence like threw me for a loop. Remnant's a big place, Sun went on. I wanted to see more of it.
I spent the summer on Atlas once.
Velvet said.
They were very racist. Before I went to Beacon, it was overwhelming.
So overwhelming, she had spent most of the time in a room or a community makerspace. Though she did get to see her father's lab a few times. Her father's a scientist? I'm trying to remember Velvet's backstory exactly.
Velvet has a backstory? This whole time?
Oh yeah, no, that's what's great about these books. These characters actually have backstory and history, and it's actually genuinely pretty decent. Like, you know,
wow,
it's almost like someone competent wrote this.
Joe told us that.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, in a room or community maker space. Is that supposed to be a market space or just what's a maker space?
No, that's a thing. That's a thing. A maker space is like, how do I describe it? Like you have a bunch of tables and there's stuff like 3D printers and there's, you know, computers with advanced programs on them. There's one near my school. You see them around then.
I guess it would make sense for her to hang around on 3D printers. Okay.
Doesn't she technically she herself is a 3D printer?
Exactly. I think that's the point. It's like she's like skilled in it. All right.
Okay.
Velvet flashback.
Flashback's mid-story. It's like I said last time. We're getting real fanficky now, aren't we? I guess this is me.
Yep.
Since it's Velvet's flashback.
Well, I'll still read the description, but dialogue is still in there. So Atlas.
Yeah. Well, it starts with Velvet's father. So.
Oh, Velvet's father. Oh, crap! I saw Velvet. I'm like, oh, I can let Molly take over this. Atlas is pretty amazing, eh?
Velvet's father said. Yeah. Velvet said.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of a voice to give him. I'm just like,
rough Australia. I would assume that the parent has the same.
No. You'd be surprised. Atlas is pretty amazing, eh? Velvet's father said.
Yeah. Like, can I take the narration?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Yeah, Velvet said, not looking up from her scroll.
Especially that giant statue of Pumpkin Pete.
He said. Uh-huh. Velvet swiped at her scroll, sending the wire schematics on the screen spinning around rapidly. Oh, she's playing Pokemon Go? Jabbed a finger to stop it, spread 2 fingers to expand the diagram, and frowned as she peeled away layer by layer. Something about the projection system wasn't right. Wait, what? Velvet lifted her head and turned from left to right. Peering around, she saw a lot of silver and glass skyscrapers, busy streets, flying vehicles straight through the skies, but no statue of a cartoon rabbit. Because of course there wouldn't be one, especially not here of all places.
Gotcha.
Father said.
I didn't think you were listening.
Oh, so no pumpkin pie?
No.
Velvet said. Oh. Just defeated. Oh. He was quiet for a little while as they rode in the back of the Atlesian transport, taking them from the train station to his apartment. You know, in normal people speak, that's called a taxi. Had he been hoping to impress her with that, show her what a big... Had he been hoping to impress her with that, show her what a big shot he was? That would have had exactly the wrong effect on her. Velvet was interested in spending a month with Will Scarlatina, Atlesian engineer. Sorry, tinkerer, as he preferred to describe himself. She just wanted to spend time with her father, the man who had helped her build her first computer and didn't get angry when she stole his power tools and made the most amazing pancakes she'd ever tasted. She hasn't had my dad's pancakes. Those are good pancakes. I am biased, but they're really good. On the other hand, could he have turned down the military escort if he wanted to? Velvet's mother had said that his mind was too important to risk his personal safety on public transit. Okay, so it's not a taxi. Sort of. Too important for him to return to Vale. Too important to be a good husband or father anymore. Yeah, my tragic backstory. My dad is too smart. Imagine if this is like literally the equivalent of my tragic backstory is that my dad is like a Major League Baseball pitcher.
It's like anyone famous is going to have like issues, like people. I really hate the idea of like, oh, these celebrities and like these people who are very famous and such, you know, they're so rich they don't have problems. No, they get mitigated, but they still have problems that actually evolve.
Oh, I'm not saying that it doesn't have a problem. It's just that like it's contradictory because it sounds like Velvet's father is talking with her and trying his best, but like...
Yeah, you're right. It does sound contradictory.
How dare her father advance society?
Yeah, it's like how dare my father try to like make a joke to see if I'm listening to him. I just want him to spend more time with me. Wait, what? My daddy never talked to me. Why is he talking to me?
It's what was that movie? Oh gosh, the Meet the Robinsons, where it's like, hey Goob, cool backpack. Want to come to my house after school? They all hated me.
Yeah. Oh my god. That movie was weird, but I liked it. I think. It's one of those movies where I'm not entirely sure my feelings on it, even all these years later. I just remember there was a really funny joke where it was like what his dad looked like. And he's going through all the portraits of different family members, and he gets to his dad, it's just a picture of a real dude.
Yes.
All right, so let's pick up. Where were we?
As long as he was helping design new top secret technologies for Atlas, that means Velvet wasn't important enough. Why is that emphasis? She didn't deserve his full attention. He hardly had room to complain that he didn't have hers. Gosh, Dad.
Just another way I've disappointed you, huh? He's self-aware about it!
Dad, no! Velvet paused. She didn't want to hurt his feelings, but she didn't have much to follow that up with. Nothing that would convince him, anyway. It was hard to argue the truth. He chuckled harshly.
Hey! No, I thought so. I'll talk to General Ironwood and see if I can't commission a rabbit statue before you leave.
I can't imagine why he wouldn't want that, Velvet smiled. From what she'd heard, the head of Atlas and its military didn't have much of a sense of humor. That's not true. Winter is hilarious, but not for the right reasons. She was glad they had taken that from her father, at least. Or hadn't taken that from her father, at least.
I bet it would do wonders for the tourist business.
He laughed.
I'm really glad you came to visit. We're going to have a wonderful time.
Of course I came. This is Center of Technology and Innovation, Remnant. I've been wanting to visit Atlas since I first picked up a soldering iron. Atlas was the birthplace of the CCT, scrolls, artificial dust types, all the things that captured Velvet's imagination and fueled her creativity. I just want to say, that means that the reason why Atlas is so prosperous is just because they were smart. Like, it's not because of a war. All the other countries just took the L. Like, Well, you didn't invent cell phones, so fuck you. She might have her mother's ears, but she was her father's daughter. Is her dad not a faunus?
If he's working in Atlas, I would assume he's not.
They can breed?
Well, what's surprising is that Velvet has her father's ears. I'm trying to remember how the biology of the faunus works, because I thought, is it only two different faunus having a children that's random, or is it a faunus and a human that can also have a randomized child?
Randomized child. I'm gonna call it that now.
Velvet is a half-breed. Velvet is a half-breed. Turtle power. Wait. I don't know why. Oh, for the fun fact,
That would be randomized.
I've had that weird song from Ace Attorney in my head, which was the Strange People song, which is the one that's like used for all the weird characters in the first game. That's stuck in my head for some reason, and it's really annoying me.
It's not for some reason. There's definitely a reason.
Well, it was before I even got in here. Two faunus of a different type is random.
Phonics X-human equals the faunus traits of the faunus parent. That makes sense. That's like a dominant gene, I guess.
I still don't understand how it's randomized when it comes to two different parent. Like, I would think it'd be more cool if you just had like lizard bunny people running around. That'd be cool.
That'd be incredible. That would be much cooler if faunus had like two traits of random animals. I would love to see that work.
Okay, where were we?
Randomized baby. Anyway, where are we? She is her father's daughter. Your line.
Oh, you aren't here because you missed me?
You know how you always told me there are no stupid questions? Velvet asked. He nodded. You were wrong, because that is a stupid question. Of course I miss you. He smiled sadly.
I miss you too, every day.
Why don't you come home, Dad? She asked. A short-term military contract had turned into a year, and whenever she'd ask her mother why, her mother changed the subject or left the room.
Velvet.
Her father looked out the window. He pressed his fingers to the glass.
I'm looking at you through the glass. Don't know how much time has passed. God, I love that song. Thing is, I don't think I am. Your mother and I don't see things the same way anymore. Maybe we haven't for a while and we just couldn't admit it to ourselves. Or oh no! She is getting two Christmases!
Oh no! This poor girl. Hasn't she been through enough?
Admit it to ourselves.
Oh, no.
All to you.
Poor kid.
Someone give this poor girl a carrot.
His decision to work for Atlas had gone over even less well with Meg Scarlatina than it had with Velvet. Or maybe it was more the fact that he hadn't discussed it with his family first. I love how her parents are Will and Meg.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Velvet.
or maybe it's the fact that her fucking mother's name is Meg. And so every single time she speaks, you just go, "Shut up, Meg!"
It's like when you hear about, like, kids being born now, and, like, the mother is Jane, and the father is, like, Frederick, and then the baby is, like, Brecklin Lee. It's the same emotion that it gives me.
Defonquez. I'm not lying. I knew a guy named Defonquez.
I've met a Quintravious.
That's a cool name. That's a
name.
legitimately... Defonquez is a little more weird. Everyone called him Quez, which was, I think, a better, nickname, but, it was hilarious.
My friend told me he ran into someone whose name was, like, Aquavion, and I'm just like, hey, yo, new evolution.
Alright, so where are we going? It's you.
But you can work it out, right? You always said you could fix anything if you put your mind to it. He turned back and looked down at his hands, opened and closed them.
Machines are easier than people.
Oh, that's you.
Machines are easier than people. I mean, people, you have all those organs and things that can go wrong. Oh. Someone super chatted. Anime is art.
Oh.
Don't forget, racism doesn't exist in Atlas. Neon Maro Faunus work at the SDC. Progressive Atlas.
I forgot about that. But isn't Atlas supposed to be the racist one?
Yeah, Atlas is supposed to be the most racist. It's like, guys, the hell? You guys don't have any consistency with your world building here.
So what's the least racist of them besides Menagerie? Vacuo? In Vacuo, do they like give you money for being a faunus? Because if this is the most racist of them, I'd love to see the least racist.
No, Vacuo is least racist in the sense they just don't give a damn. Like they're just assholes, like generally, as opposed like that's what I'm getting from this. I thought Vacuo was like the most laid back place. No, it's just that everyone is an equal opportunity asshole. And then Vale has like.
Wait, I just realized.
What?
I just realized. I think that super chat was $5 Australian. If the person who super chatted is Australian, I'm so sorry. I'm sure my accent is shit. I'm doing my best here.
You're better than mine. I keep trying to dip back to my natural accent, and that just that gets weird. But yeah, machines are easier than people. I mean, just the organs and such, you gotta move around. You can't. Like, if I could dive into your mother's brain, like, if she would let me open a brain cavity, I might be able to...
and lobotomize her, please. She was lobotomized. A lot of things to be fixed.
I mean, I feel like half the cast already is.
That's very true. Velvet glanced down at her scroll. No argument there. Oh, that's brutal.
Text from your friends?
Yes. What friends? Velvet
crawling in my skin! These wounds! I feel bad, because I love Linkin Park, but god, that is just such a ripe meme.
I love the version of it where it's crossed with that Pikmin song.
Oh god. They did a reimagination album with like techno and rap artists, and it's really like the version of Crawling, One Step Closer, and Runaway are all really damn good. Like they're some of my favorite techno sounding songs on the planet, because like I would, on no lie, if I made a Metroid movie, those three would probably be one of those would be like the opening song.
Nice. Yeah. All right. So where were we? She never managed to find her place at Faros Combat School. She couldn't wait till she got to start Beacon Academy after the summer. It was going to be a fresh start. She's going to try harder to be more outgoing, meet more people. She just hoped she would end up with a good partner and team. She was good at planning. She could see it all in her head already. And her latest invention was going to help out with that, which is why it was so important she get it right. It's a new weapon I'm working on, Velvet said. For school.
May I?
Her father reached out for her scroll and she passed it over. He put on his reading glasses and studied her designs. Suddenly, Velvet felt anxious.
This captures images of other weapons and then reproduces them in hard light.
He looked up in wonder.
Velvet, this is astonishing.
Velvet blushed.
Does it work?
I built prototypes, but I don't have enough hard light dust to test it extensively.
That shouldn't be a problem. Once James hears about this, he'll set you up with all the dust you need. At the military family discount.
James? Velvet asked.
Sorry, James Ironwood.
She went back to looking at her scroll. You mean you really know the general? His face showed surprise.
No, I work with him. Well, technically I work for him, but it's basically the same thing. You thought I was making that up?
I mean, might be exaggerating slightly. To impress me?
I see. Were you impressed?
I am now.
These projection relays are marvelous.
He pointed to one area of the schematic.
I've never seen anything like it.
That pot's been giving me some trouble.
You'll get it. You know, I miss working on stuff like this with you. We could use you in our lab.
Velvet wasn't sure that would go over so well. Mom would love that, she said sarcastically, blowing her bangs out of her eyes. Home isn't the same without you. It doesn't even feel like home.
I know. I'm sorry. But hey, you'll be leaving soon anyway. My daughter, a huntress at Beacon Academy. I'm so proud of you, V.
Thanks. Maybe that was all Velvet needed. A new place to call home. By the way, near disaster, I almost started hiccuping.
I mean, I've been drinking Pepsi all through this, so I've been having the burps, and I'm not. It's not fun when you're in the middle of it and you're like, oh god.
No soda, gang.
All soda. No. Let's see.
It's not even diet. No soda, gang.
I'd never been to Atlas, Sun said.
I hope you'll be able to go sometime, when all this trouble dies down.
Velvet replied. Meanwhile, in Atlas, just like hell breaking loose. It's a lovely place.
And I can't wait for Feral Winter in Volume 8.
Oh, yeah. Sun grinned. Nah, I'm good. Too much technology there. But also really tall buildings, Neptune pointed out. There's plenty to climb in Mistral, Sun said. More stuff like that.
Why can't he climb like a 5-story building? Why is that so offensive to him?
Like, it's just not high enough, I guess? Well, he must have hated it in Menagerie. Oh my god.
It's so crowded here!
I've always been like more of a horizontal kind of guy than a vertical. Like the idea of like running along rooftops sounds really fun and cool to me. Like in the Middle East, I mean, ever since Assassin's Creed, it got that brain bug in my head. But like, I don't understand the appeal of going vertical. It doesn't feel like you're really going anywhere. If you're going horizontal, it feels like you're going places. He pointed, and Velvet saw.
Climbed.
Saw a natural rock formation spring from the plaza on the outskirts of the city. That's you. It's Coco.
That's the weeping wall. They have a wailing wall.
Coco asked.
Why?
I don't know. We'll see where they go with this.
I was expecting. I don't know. A wall.
The mass was technically wall-like, Velvet thought, about 10 feet long and 3 feet thick and 40 feet high. On the shady side of it, 2 kids had set up an old wooden crate to sell misshapen clay models of the wall. It isn't weeping either, Neptune said. Those aren't tears, they're like sweat. He wiped his brow for emphasis. Neptune was referring to a trickle of water seeping out of the rock and running down into a natural rivulet that disappeared into the crevice between the rock and pavement.
There could not have been a more awkward way to say that.
Yeah. Things aren't named literally in Vacuo, Sun said. How is it doing that? Yatsuhashi asked as he caught up to them, the others close behind him.
What is it doing?
Velvet asked. Hard to know without digging it up and ruining it in the process, Sun said. Which people in Vacuo are generally against for obvious reasons. But there must be some kind of underwater reservoir beneath the stone. The rock is porous. It draws the water up, then it trickles down. Once in a while after it rains, the stone will weep for weeks afterwards. I've heard of this, Fox said. People sell vials of the water, don't they? Vacuo's tears, or some nonsense.
Why don't they drink it instead?
Sage asked. Forgot we gave him the Brooklyn accent. Or Italian, I don't know what you want to go with that.
Italian-American.
Yeah. Because then it would dry up and we would just have an ugly rock, Sun said. Some of the water evaporates, of course, but a lot of it seeps into the ground and makes its way back to the reservoir. And probably some of the local oases. God, that's an awkward word. It's as close as we have to a renewable resource around here.
Why don't they just dig up the reservoir?
That's literally what they're discussing. They're like, why don't you? And just like,
I know.
Because we don't want to ruin it. And it's like, but why?
But that's not how it works. like if they
How about
the
you
water,
dig a
he's
hole parallel to where it
he's
is,
essentially
and then horizontally go there?
he's essentially saying that the water is like cyclically going out of the rock and then back into the ground into the reservoir, but but like they take from it, so clearly there's more than that.
Yeah, I mean,
Vacuo gamer girl water.
Oh, you can see the dust particles in it. Coco's line.
That's nice and all.
Coco said. Her tone suggested she meant the exact opposite.
But why did you want to show it to us?
I think it's truly breathtaking, Fox said. Wait, aren't you blind? Neptune asked. Fox turned his head towards him and didn't say anything. I kind of like that, like the idea, like, also Neptune is being kind of rude there, like, just, aren't you blind? Like, do you just tell people, hey, aren't you blind?
Like, okay, you could cut that off. This goes on for like several more lines. Why don't you just cut it off as at I think it's truly breathtaking, Fox said, and like let the joke speak for itself.
Yeah, I think someone pointed out, but then again, like, thinking of like real human interactions, something like this might happen where someone actually does react to that. Like,
I mean, I would assume they all laugh and.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, like, apparently, you know, Team Susan and Coffee don't know each other very well at this rate. They're just kind of like familiar with each other.
That's not the stint land. Like they just go on. They're like, "Aren't you blind? What's he doing?" That was the joke. Don't be mean. Stop staring. Like, shut up. Get on with it.
Yeah, that's the joke. Yatsuhashi is now played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Sorry, don't be mean, Fox. Please stop staring at me, Neptune said in a small voice. I mean, he covered his eyes and turned away. Fox grinned. Take a closer look, Sun said. Come on. The two teams gathered on the cooler side of the stone formation. Velvet saw the base was cluttered with the assortment of stuffed animals, bunches of desert flowers, shoes, period. Glasses filled with water and plates of dried meat, period. After a moment, she put it all together. This was a shrine. So it is the Wailing Wall.
No, you don't build a shrine at the Wailing Wall. You put notes in it.
Well, you put what?
You fold up pieces of paper with prayers on them, and you put them in the cracks.
Oh, right. I mean, all the same, like, the same premise. You put things at a wall for, like, religious reasons kind of thing. Yeah?
Yeah.
So it's...
Wait, why is there stuffed animals?
I imagine it's like, this is like more of a grave type deal.
Oh, I see. That explains it.
But we'll see. Well, maybe the stuffed animals are believed to come to life at night and fight off Grimm that are threatening the city. I don't know.
No, it's explaining it. It's like sad.
Loops of thin wire were wrapped around the wall with pictures and posters pinned to them. Some of the pages were faded, nearly blank and in tatters, while others had been freshly printed or handwritten. Many of them had the same chilling words in block letters at the top. Missing. Ah.
Yeah, so this is like the stuffed like I've seen stuffed animals put at like memorial shrines before. So.
Velvet whispered a description of what they were seeing to Fox, avoiding TeamSpeak for season's benefit. No one.
I like how you said season.
Yeah, it's such a better name for them. No one found out about Fox's semblance until he trusted them enough to let them in on it.
What is this?
Coco asked. These are missing and lost. These are the missing and lost of the city of Vacuo, Sun said. People who have disappeared without a trace. Most of them in the last year. Where'd they go?
Where'd they go?
Oh, that's right. I get Sage and Yatsuhashi mixed up because, you know, Sage doesn't have a character yet. They wouldn't be missing if we knew where they are. Scarlet patted Sage on the... Yeah, Sage, dumb fuck. Oh, it's you. More Sage.
Oh, right.
Velvet walked. I mean, going with that the Italian New York accent is really fitting him. Velvet walked along the wall, taking in all the pictures. There were so many: children, parents, brothers, sisters, husbands and wives, boyfriends and girlfriends, cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria. These were people who had left someone behind, to miss them, to mourn, to wonder what had happened to them. Velvet.
Oh, I guess they're low priority for Headmaster Theodore, too.
Velvet said. Even though people expect a lot from him, he doesn't have complete authority, Fox said. We're still in Vacuo. Resources are limited. The huntsmen he works with regularly have got to be stretched pretty thin already, if Rumpel has them on the lookout for the crown.
No, I forgot about Rumpel.
That's right. Short stack.
I know it's been a week, but I forgot. Short stack.
Velvet tried to imagine what it was like for the people who only had the resources to put pictures of their missing loved ones on the wall and hope they could come home one day.
Those people could be in trouble. Really, Velvet?
No shit! It's Vacuo. People die in the desert all the time, Velvet said.
They're missing. People who go missing generally don't end up in better situations.
Not like that one guy who walked off into the forest one day and just came out and said, "Hey, I'm a millionaire now." How? I found this money in the forest. Like, how awesome would that be? You just walk into your forest one day, go missing for a couple of days, come back, and you're like, "I'm filthy rich."
You find, like, a diamond in there.
Yeah. That's what I'm worried about, Sun said. I gotta find them. Oh, are they gonna find, like, all of the missing people in the fucking city?
That apparently the professionals couldn't do this.
Yeah. There you go, being all noble and selfish again, Scarlet said. Both at the same time. Sun didn't rise to Scarlet's bait, which was pretty strange, but it also wasn't his style to devote himself to a cause like this. He usually went wherever his whims took him, whether that was across the sea to help a friend or to get noodles at 3 a.m, after, leaving his friends behind to fight a giant robot. To pledge to fight a big cause... What?
Nothing, I'm just making sounds of despair.
Yeah. To pledge to fight a big cause with no clear solution or end in sight? That really didn't sound like Sun. Maybe his time with Blake and Menagerie had changed him.
We'll help you,
Velvet said with conviction.
We'll find them.
Coco cleared her throat.
After we track down the crown.
Hey guys! Guys, they're one and the same! Velvet walked around the wall to the other side, trailing her finger over the posters. There was a laughing boy balancing a plate on his head, a smiling man holding a baby in his arms, a teenage girl with her head bent over a scroll, 4 teenage turtles that were... Wait, no, sorry. Velvet froze, staring at a picture of a gawky teenager with short hair. Velvet knew her.
Guys!
She called.
Look at this!
Yatsuhashi was the first one to reach her. Velvet pointed. Still Velvet.
What's wrong?
What, you're skipping.
Oh, sorry.
Look familiar.
Look familiar?
Yatsuhashi squinted.
Line. What's wrong?
Coco asked.
I know this girl. We ran into her last night.
This is... I know this girl. We ran into her last night.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. It gets confusing.
Sorry, I'm still recovering from a shopping trip.
Yatsuhashi said. Sun's eyes widened when he saw the spiky pink hair. Pink! This is one of the 3 people in masks who we saved Sun from, Yatsuhashi said. Hey, Sun muttered. I had it under control. Coco leaned closer to the picture and lowered her sunglasses.
Hold on. That's impressive. The kind of person the crown would be interested in.
But you're skipping again.
I'm sorry. I put the sunglasses. Okay. So you're saying this missing kid has a semblance?
I guess Sun. She seemed to be able to phase her body so physical objects could pass through it.
That's impressive. The
Coco
kind
said.
of person the crown would be interested in.
But she didn't act. But she didn't act like someone who'd been kidnapped. Sun said. More like she was a kidnapper herself.
Like Carmine and Bertolick.
Coco asked. Oh, good point. Sun said. Coco smirked.
I know.
Wait, what do you mean like them? I guess, like, yeah, they were kidnappers, but, like, the idea of, like, no, I don't know what they're trying to convey there. I guess they're just trying to say, oh, they're kidnappers, more like that. Whatever. Velvet used her scroll to take a picture of the picture. The girl with pink hair was named Rosa Schwein and lived in Gust Downs.
I appreciate your proper pronunciation there.
Yeah, Rosa Schwein. What? Ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch.
I just want to picture that Coco just can't talk normally. Someone should go talk to her family. Find out what they know. Maybe the missing people are connected somehow.
She talks like Christopher Walken. The boys and I will take care of it. Sun gave her a thumbs up. Scarlet tossed up his arms in frustration. Sage sighed and Neptune shrugged. Velvet started snapping pictures of wide sections of the wall with her scroll. Some of them were already fading, bleached by the sun. Soon they'd be gone forever, a small tragedy that Velvet was all too familiar with. All of them were potential leads as long as they lasted. Doesn't she have a dedicated camera? She handed her scroll to Yatsuhashi. While he got pictures of the ones too high for her to reach, she went to the little souvenir table near the wall. Velvet slipped the kids a lei in exchange for one of their handmade sculptures. She handled it carefully since it was still damp. It looked like it had been made right there, from the wet clay at the base of the wall, but was actually a pretty decent likeness of the Weeping Wall, if you knew what you were supposed to be looking at.
I have a menorah that I made when I was like 10, 11 years old that looks like the Western Wall.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm sure I could dig it up, but not now.
I don't have anything cool like that. I don't think. I'm trying to think of like the things that I made. I tried to make like a pelican dropship from Halo out of clay in like 6th grade. Came out shit.
Oh, someone in the chat has a good point that her name means rose pig.
Oh yeah. I didn't point that out because I'm just like they're just reaching for that. So, she's a pig. Wonderful. Oh my god, she's gonna take off the mask. She's gonna be a pig fauna. She's gonna have like a pig nose.
Bro, imagine being born with a pig nose. L's in chat. Actually, you know what? No, P's in chat. P's in chat prefer pig.
Winks in chat.
Oinks in chat.
When Team Sin and Team Coffee were nearly done photographing everything on the wall, a girl about their age approached. Her curly brown hair almost obscured perky brown mouse ears. Oh, she's adorable! Aww. Neptune was friendly. Hey, he said. How's it going? The girl burst into tears and held up a flyer. This is a mouse girl.
Oh, I'm trying to think of what to use. I guess she's like, my older sister is missing.
Neptune froze, not knowing how to react. Here, let me help you with that, Sun said. He took the flyer and pinned it to an empty spot on the wire. There weren't many empty spaces left now. Coco got right down to questioning.
Oh, okay. I know it's me. When did she disappear?
She asked brusquely.
2 nights ago.
The girl looked around in confusion, suddenly aware of Team Coffee and Sin and the fact that they were all paying attention to her.
She went to a club or something to watch a fight. Where was it?
Coco asked.
Downtown. I don't know. She had an address on a poster. She likes to gamble, but she's trying to make money so we can eat.
The girl broke down crying before she could offer more detail.
I don't know what we're going to do without her.
This is either A, really convenient, or B, a really transparent fucking, like, Ponzi scheme. Like, if you just give us your credit card information, we'll be set. Velvet snapped a photo of her flyer. The girl's sister was named Lily, and she looked like an older version of the girl. Who is making, like, how are these people making these flyers? Like, do these people know how to use Photoshop? And, there's a certain skill in making an actual flyer. It sounds like these are all pretty uniform, though.
I mean, you take a picture that you have just printed out on a piece of paper and put missing under it on Word.
Yeah.
Actually, a template. They like have a release template. By the way, from now on, I'm going to do this when I'm with it. We'll keep an eye out for her.
Velvet promised.
Does she have a semblance?
Coco wanted to know.
Sure.
Everyone has a fucking semblance, you dumb shit! That's literally the point! Jesus Christ! Of course she has a semblance! Everyone does! Maybe
Nothing too crystal, though. She can make things sticky. Wow, sticky fingers, huh?
Oh,
Quite literally.
Yeah, jump ahead here. What? Neptune said?
She can make things stick to each other. Little. On the pages of a book, we used to make houses of cards together.
The girl wiped her
with the
nose with
back
the
of
back
her
of her hand.
But not last long. A few minutes, and then poof. I actually really like this. I really like this because I remember when I like wrote my first RWBY fanfiction. I remember talking with my friends. I talked to you about this. I wish there were more people with borderline useless semblances.
Oh yeah, Fat Man was big on that too. Do
Like,
you
I
remember
read
our
one character,
speculation?
the only thing about her that was special.
Do you remember us talking about like not just useless but like counterintuitive semblances, like the suicide semblance? Just like
I remember I had an idea for a character where her semblance was just that her eyes were like bioluminescent. That was it.
Wasn't that kind of like the premise of like one character in fucking Sky High, where like their whole power was that they just occasionally glowed in the dark, and it ends up becoming like super fucking useful like at the end of the film because they were in an extremely specific situation. Oh god, I gotta watch Sky High again. I missed that. All right, Coco.
Okay, that's not going to rock anyone's world.
This girl scowled.
She is my world! Ah!
Like, are we talking like she is my world in the sense of you're just dependent on her, or in the sense of we're getting into the weird, uncomfortable anime shenanigans?
Oh no. Let's hope it's the former.
Coco's face flushed.
I didn't mean to upset her.
She was upset already, Fox said. Scarlet crossed his arms. But you just made it worse. Coco was trying to piece together what they knew.
Well, I don't know if their situation fits. That girl, Lily probably got in too deep with gambling debt and got into trouble.
Coco suggested.
Or she was too embarrassed to go home to her family. She wouldn't have left her sister alone, and it sounds like her family would support her no matter what.
Silence fell over the group.
You're right.
Coco finally said.
That's what families do, even in vacuo.
Anime is art, says Callie, Gira, and Ilya don't have semblances.
Ilya has a semblance, and so does Gira.
Do they?
Wait.
I think Ilya's is like a faunus trait.
Oh, huh.
But like, that's no. But they said that everyone has a. It's completely unique.
Ah! Roman didn't have a semblance.
Okay, look, just because they didn't use a semblance doesn't mean they didn't have one. For all we know, Roman's semblance was like, I don't know, he could tap dance slightly better than average. Because that's something stupid that would probably be a semblance.
All right.
Yeah. Especially in Vacuo, Sun said.
And speaking of families...
Velvet looked around her last...
now it's our turn to show you guys something. Sorry.
It's these babbers! All right. So that's chapter... How many pages was that? It was what? We were on page 46. We started on page 34. That was 12 pages. Let's see how long the next chapter is. So this chapter 3 starts at 47.
Actually, I just want to say, girlfriend in chat. Girlfriend is in chat. So, hi, Sarah.
Hello.
Shoutouts.
Oh, we're at 47 people. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go through. This is only 5 pages. This next chapter. So let's go through it.
Oh, only 5 pages. Wow,
Yeah.
they just. Oh boy. All right, I guess it's me.
I'll take over this one. I think the idea of like us trading off either on like the italics and on the like big breaks. Like if I come back tonight for another one, Q chat might be back for another chapter tonight. We'll see how that pans out. But like the idea, it's like basically I can go for like an hour or 2 before I really need to rest my voice. So I can carry on for at least one major session. So chapter 3.
I can go all night, baby.
That's just for your girlfriend, though. She's in chat. Chapter 3.
It's not being appropriate here.
That night, as Sun looked around the dorm common room at the other students gathered there, he felt strangely disconnected from his body, unsettled. It turned out his soul was leaving him. No.
All right, here we go. Hi, everyone.
Velvet began.
As you can see, we have a few new faces here. Since we are voted to invite Team Slur to these meetings, here they are. Sun, Scarlet, Sage, Neptune, welcome to the Bacon Brigade.
The group applauded softly. Neptune beamed, seemed to think better of it, and his face went flat. Then his mouth stretched into a weird, wide grin that Sun knew meant his friend was about to lock up.
Great writing.
Thanks, Sun said awkwardly. I'm still not sure if we really belong here, but he rubbed the back of his neck.
Collie MILF semblance.
I mean, that's granted. In the last few weeks, he had seen kids in the classroom and hallways of Shade Academy. They were his new schoolmates, but they weren't exactly strangers. He had seen a number of them at Beacon. He had fought against some of them in the Vital Festival tournament. He had fought alongside others at the Battle of Beacon, and they had lost together, watching Beacon fall.
Chat, Ilya does not have lesbian powers. She has being creepily obsessed with Blake and joining a terrorist group about it powers.
This is Velvet.
I know. I'm just saying, chat. Oh, my props. My props. Everyone here helped defend our home and school, even though we didn't have to.
Velvet said.
We're grateful. As far as we're concerned, you're all honorary Beacon students.
Whatever that means anymore, Sun thought. Then he chided himself to the others. To the others here, it still meant a lot. Sun liked to move around, so he didn't get too attached to a place or to people or to the people there. But that's not how other people operated. Most people's identities were built around where they lived and trained. Their friends, their culture. That was the whole point of the team system. To become part of something, to define yourself, to lose yourself in it. A team made you someone new, someone better. Sun hadn't really been a big fan of that mentality either, come to think of it. Now they were creating a new group named after the place that didn't even exist anymore. Now here they were creating a new group named after a place that didn't even exist anymore. The Beacon Brigade. I'm gonna use that voice every time it comes up if I can remember. There was Team Coffee. There was Team Coffee, of course, but also Team
Kiffy.
Auburn. Team
Auburn.
Auburn, consisting of Arslan Atlan, Bolin Hori, Reese Cloris, and Nadir Shiko. Well, already this entire book is completely out of my canon, so that's nice. They'd have gone back to Haven Academy with Neptune, Scarlet, and Sage. They had gone back
Team
to
Auburn die in your canon? I forget.
No, I have actually plans for them. I have a really cool idea for season 6 with Auburn.
Nice.
They had gone back to Haven Academy with Neptune, Scarlet, and Sage, where they watched the school nearly fall to the white. What? You were there? This is something that's someone. I thought they were joking. They were there. They didn't help when they saw an army of armed faunists charging their school. I know technically they were the good guys in that circumstance, but oh my god, you would think they would have showed up? Jesus Christ! Just made Volume 5 a whole lot dumber. Oh my god. Why didn't Team RWBY talk with them? Why didn't they hang out? Where were they? Okay. Let's get back to it.
We did it, everybody. We made Volume 5 worse.
I don't know how they did that.
Next, we will remove Volume 5's one good song.
And it's like, it's not even like, oh, they were in the city. It says they were there and they watched. Like, so they were somehow observing it. That's the real kicker. They were somehow observing it. Oh, thank you, Romera3, for the subscription. I don't know if they're watching the stream right now, but thank you anyway. Auburn had beaten them to Vacuo by a couple of weeks, though since Sun had insisted on taking the scenic route, luckily for Team Coffee. Sun recognized a few other faces from Beacon, even if he had only remembered Iris Murilla's name. But he was surprised to see Nolan Porfirio, the only one here who was an original Shade Academy student. Nolan had lost the rest of his team, Bronze. They all died? Oh yeah, I mean, Roy we knew died hard. That motherfucker got picked up by a Nevermore. Bronze Knee, Roy Stallion, and Mei Zedong. But Mei's dead?
Skipper Girl?
Oh no!
No! Everybody loved her. She was like the best minor character in season 3. I remember that. I remember.
No lie.
5 years ago.
I low key shipped her and Reese Cloris, and I'm like, these are nothing characters, but I think they look cute together.
Those are the woke pairings. Mei Zedong
and Reese Cloris. What would we call that? What color is Mei? I guess purple, magenta.
Nolan's new semblance is PTSD.
And it showed. He was even thinner than he was last year at the Vital Festival, and his rose-colored glasses couldn't hide the dark shadow under his eyes. So he got a new outfit, because he didn't have glasses, I don't think. This is you.
Just like getting started, like comprehending this. No! I haven't thought about this girl in 5 years, and I'm upset. Who wants to start?
Velvet asks.
What's on your mind?
Bolin raised his hand tentatively. Is it just me, or does it seem like we really aren't wanted here? No, that's just my parents.
Is Nadir a man or a woman?
Nadir's a guy.
Okay.
It isn't just you, Nadir said. Let's just say some of the vacuum students here are giving me new meaning to Shade Academy. He looks around. Because they've really been throwing a lot of shade at us. We get it, Fox said.
Cringe.
This is Arslan.
Pretty cringe. Saying cringe is also cringe, though.
Yeah. Arslan.
Arslan's a woman?
Yeah, Arslan's a woman. She's the did you watch my Fixing Volume 3? She's the blonde one that had the beef with Pyrrha in the Fixing. Arslan.
I have to look it up and remember. Oh, she's that one.
Yeah, she like throws a knife on a string.
Okay. Well, she has like thingies in her hair. I have an X-Acto knife and this, so I'm gonna use that.
I love how you get into the character. I would get some costumes myself.
What does she sound like?
She never had a voice in the actual show.
Is it true that they've been giving us a hard time since we arrived?
Arslan said.
They like to remind us of the fact that we've abandoned 2 other academies now, as they put it. While I appreciate that they have their own perspective, it's not a very productive attitude.
After a brief pause, Yatsuhashi spoke up. It's tough here, but it helps keep me focused. That, and the meditation. Several heads nodded around the room. Sun had seen Yatsuhashi leading meditation groups early in the morning at Shade. They reminded Sun of the exercises Star had forced on him at the dojo when he was young. For example,
Star.
I think his older sister or cousin, I want to say. It's a relative of his. She was mentioned earlier, and I think she's the one with the dojo.
Okay. Oh, you're right. There was the flashback. I'm actually going to use my lockpicks for this one.
For him, sitting in one place and doing absolutely nothing for so long stretches of time was the opposite of relaxing. Is this Iris? I don't remember who Iris is.
Iris? It feels like a punishment.
Who is Iris?
So she had a high voice, so I'm just rolling with that.
No, I think it's a new character that doesn't have a portrait.
Oh man, so I just have to guess. Well, I looked it up, and there's some fetish art in the Google results, so that's not good.
Yeah, I know. I think they're like, because Iris is a popular. I had a character named Iris in my SYOC because it's a very popular go-to name for colors and such. Oh crap! I gotta put my chat back up. Dropped it.
Well, those are some shitty OCs I saw in the Google results. No, yeah. Fact. Not a bullshit.
Well, I don't know what she sounds like. Well, she's apparently high-pitched.
I don't know. The chat says that May X Reese is called Skate or Die.
Yes! Yes! Feels like a punishment, a high voice said. Son Winston looked at Iris.
Is that weird?
She went on.
I'm just being honest. It's so hard here. I'm not sure if we can make it, but the alternative...
She swallowed, and her voice softened, but not enough.
I think they deserve it, you know? Because I survived some people didn't.
Okay, that's like... I'm on the fence. That's obviously survivor's guilt they're trying to convey, but like... That's very clunky way to convey it. It's like... You know, I can give it a pass because, like, someone trying to convey that information, I could see them being self-aware about that.
Thank you, Iris.
Velvet said.
Does anyone else feel that way?
Some murmurs of assent.
Sometimes I feel that way, too.
Velvet acknowledged. Really? Sun said. He was surprised to hear that. Velvet had never mentioned it.
When we first got here, I hated Vacuo. But I also know that this is the best place to get stronger, to learn what I'm really capable of, and to realize that at Beacon I did my best, but my best can still be better. Yeah.
Iris drew in a shaky breath.
This week has been hard for me. It would have been Castor's birthday yesterday. I'm sorry.
Velvet said.
I miss him so much.
Iris said, wiping her eyes. We all do, Yatsuhashi said, as if he had been close with Castor too. As if anyone had been close to anyone in this show. Who's Castor, Sun thought? One of Iris's teammates? Her boyfriend? Both? Oh shit! My tassels fell off. Oh no! Gotta fix that.
I'm sorry that I had to do that emotional scene with 2 rulers against my head.
Maybe you should go out and get some actual rabbit ears for this.
I wish I had them. I live near a party city, so...
Yeah, like, that's the thing. I actually live near a lot of good costume places, so I could probably get, like, fun stuff. I don't know what I would wear for, like, any of these characters. Oh, I have goggles! I could wear that for Neptune. So where was I? His thoughts were immediately interrupted by another student. I should have died there, Nolan stated flatly. At that, silence fell over the group. I thought he has the raspier one I gave him. I thought I was going to. I was afraid. Nolan scanned the room looking for support, though not everyone met his gaze. But I didn't. His voice shook, and he set his jaw with determination. We didn't die. There's a reason for that. Yeah, because you ran away, Sun thought, unable to stop himself, even though this was the exact thing the other Shade students were thinking of the Beacon and Haven survivors. No wonder Nolan was here. He was probably getting criticized worse than anyone, because Shade students were supposed to be stronger than everyone else. What is with these people? Literally an invasion of Grimm! These motherfuckers, like, they're trained to fight these things. They should know how dangerous it is. And then
it's like if there was a bombing and people got mad at police officers for dying. Like, what were they supposed to do?
It's like let's go through the facts that we know. Beacon was invaded by Grimm. Grimm overran it. Coffee migrates to Vacuo, and immediately upon arriving become the star pupils of their fucking school. Instead of thinking the logical assumption of, oh shit, things must have been really bad if these bastards had to run, they immediately think, oh, these bastards are super weak, even though they're completely outpacing us at every single corner of our society. Really, it's garbage. That's some garbage there. Okay. I'm gonna make my life count, Nolan said. I'm not gonna waste this chance. That's more like it, Sun thought. But he believed it when he saw it. It was easy to talk about doing something and another thing following through on it. Maybe that's what he didn't like about this group. So far, it was all just sitting around and talking. They should be focused on moving on, channeling their strength towards protecting their new home, their new friends. Velvet time.
Chat's discussing shipping. Enough with shipping. Shipping sucks. Stop.
I disagree. Keep on shipping. Shipping is blessing. It's toxic shipping. I clarify that. Toxic shipping, you should not be... Don't get pissy with each other over ships. Just enjoy that everyone is enjoying ships. Like, that's the positivity mode.
Unless you ship Bumblebee.
If you ship Bumblebee, there are some questions.
Unless you ship Bumblebee.
All right, so where were we? It's Velvet. I think we all feel that way. I think it is.
That was my phone. I think we all feel that way.
Velvet said.
Thank you for sharing, Nolan.
Sun couldn't contain himself. He rolled his eyes. This therapy thing felt weird, like a shirt that didn't quite fit. He barely wears shirts.
Well, he doesn't wear shirts. How would you know?
It had its own language, and everyone was so careful about how they phrased things. It ran counter to everything he was.
My props, Raymond. You have something to contribute, son?
Coco asked. I don't think so, Sun said. I'm sorry. I don't think this is for me. He stood up. Neptune jumped to his feet too, and they stood there awkwardly, unsure of what they were doing.
You don't have to stay, of course.
Coco said.
Maybe you're not ready for this.
Sun scowled. There was an implication there he didn't like. That's not what I meant. But I don't have anything to say that I think you'd want to hear, so I'm just gonna go. Velvet stood up and put an arm out to stop him.
Don't. This is a safe space, son. It's like a family, and whatever you're thinking, I think we've all been there. I think we all need to hear it from each other.
Sun hesitated. Go on, Scarlet tapped his foot. Don't keep us waiting. Again. I'm really growing to like Scarlet. He's just salt. He's just pure salt.
I ship Sun X the respect he doesn't get in this book. I ship Sun and the respect he doesn't get in the series.
I ship Sun in an early and painless death.
It would be the best for him.
Sun narrowed his eyes. Look, I understand why you've started this little group, but I think it's a mistake. For a lot of reasons. Now everyone was staring at him, their eyes burning as hot as the vacuum noontime sun. You've only been here for 10 minutes and you've figured us all out, Nolan said, incredulous. Sun shook his head and started to leave. Come on, Neptune.
It's so mean.
But his teammate didn't move. Neptune glanced at Sun and then at the group, then back. Then finally he sat down. I kind of like to hear what you have to say. Sun was exasperated. Okay, for one, Theo really wouldn't like this. He burst out. Sun circled his hand in the air, indicating the whole room. This is why vacuums won't trust you, because you're holding on to who you were and where you came from instead of focusing on where you are.
Christ, Son, they just want therapy. They went through something horrific.
The thing is, he's trying to... he's being forced to do this to some degree. Like, they're like, no, really, tell us what you think. And he's like, no, really, I should go. No, really, tell us what you think. I should go, guys. Tell us what you think, son. Fine.
That's fair.
Yeah, so he was trying to be the cool guy. I think they asked for this. If they give him shit for this, it's on them. He burst out. Let's see. This because you're holding on to things. He caught his breath and continued. I get it. Beacon was your home, but it belongs to the Grim now. We all survived, but it's like you haven't left Beacon at all. And if you don't leave it, the darkness is going to eat you alive.
That's not what this group is about.
Velvet told him.
We've all lived something that no one else can understand.
Sun laughed. You don't think vacuums understand what you've been through? People stay in Vacuo because it's our home, no matter what. We're making up for our failure every day, punishing ourselves with the heat and the hunger and the thirst. Because we deserve it. Because we don't want to forget. Scarlet stood. You mean like you don't forget about us? Like you didn't leave us the first chance you got to chase after someone you barely knew and you didn't want and who didn't want your help. You didn't even stay in Vacuo for school. You chose Haven. Scarlet flipped his bangs away from his face and glared at Sun. You wouldn't know anything about loss, Sun. You've never stayed in one place long enough to learn. The room was quiet. Sun's face was flushed. You all belong in Vacuo more than you think, he snapped.
Thank you, Sun.
Velvet's voice. What was that? What was that inflection? Velvet's voice shook.
Worried but polite.
He looked resolute and genuinely appreciative. But Sun, she looked resolute and genuinely appreciative. But Sun couldn't stay there any longer. Not with Scarlet airing Team Sun's dirty laundry for everyone to hear.
What, do you want me to do it over?
No, it's fine. It's fine. Sun pushed his way through to the common room doors a little more roughly than he needed to. He started down the hall and out into the cool night air.
Come on, chat. You can do better than 3 billion gay jokes every video. Come on, chat. You can do better than that.
Yeah, I'm actually really liking Scarlet. I like the salt just bleeding off him is great.
Well, Raymond, you know how the fans are. He's not allowed to have a character anymore.
Yeah. He still couldn't figure out what was going on with Scarlet. Yeah, Sun had left his team to support Blake because she needed her a friend, and her mission was more important than just sitting back in at Haven. Okay, and picking up his studies. And he still didn't regret leaving without him. Without him, who knows what would have happened with the White Fang on Menagerie or Haven? Blake may not have needed or wanted him, but there was no doubt in his mind that he had helped. I mean, he's not wrong. The doors opened again, and a moment later, Velvet emerged.
Son, you don't have to.
I'm sorry about that. It just isn't my thing.
It doesn't have to be. It's helpful to everyone in there, and that's all that matters. You'll find your own way to work through it.
There's nothing to work through, Sun thought. We just need to move on. But Sun just smiled at Velvet. I'll see you guys for
patrol later.
Sun
smiled at her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll see you guys for patrol later. And that's where we end the chapter. We'll pick up chapter 4 at a later time. Unless it's really short again. Let's see. 53. Yeah, no, this is a longer one. This is 10 chapters. 10 pages, not 10 chapters. 10 pages. We'll pick this up at later. Maybe tonight. Maybe tonight if schedule permits. What did everyone think? I mean, it gets a little messy. Obviously, plot holes.
Anytime RWBY tries to work with serious human emotions, it gets messy.
Yeah, because, like, I think Sun is... if they're trying to say that Sun is not dealing with this emotionally well, like, I don't know if that's good or bad, because, like, I can't tell if it's good or bad writing, because, like, other ones are so freaking blatant, like, I have survivor's guilt. Great, thank you for completely self-analyzing yourself perfectly right there. But other times, like, it could be, like, genuinely Sun might have issues with just, like, transiency.
I love it when the characters just tell me.
You cut out. What?
What all their problems are. I said I love it when characters just tell me exactly what their problems are. It's writing.
I actually like the support group idea too. I think it's actually it stands to reason. It follows logically. Better than chapter 1? No. I mean, chapter 3 here had a massive retcon for the entire series. Like, it, I don't know how, but they managed to damage volume 5 way worse. They literally had the opportunity to say anything, like, oh, we were, at home in Mistral for the summer, but we weren't at Haven when it happened, and we only heard about it after the fact. Like, they could have done that. And they didn't. In fact, if I understand it correctly, they specifically said that all the students were home for the summer because break was on. Yeah, thanks for giving Velvet Daddy issues. Like, I don't know where that came from. That came out of the blue. Just like, my dad moved away for work for a year. Great, wonderful.
Daddy issues.
I guess I can't be too angry at it. It's actual character.
It is character, and that's... I love the standards. It's like when I listen to the soundtrack, and I'm like, well, that didn't have terrible harmonies. Like, this is a standard, not an exception.
Who's Sage again? He's the rest of Team Sin.
He's the third S.
He's the third S that no one remembers because he doesn't actually have a character.
God forbid anyone have a good, stable relationship with their parents. In Pokemon Sun and Moon, they actually gave all of the kids parents, and they, like... It was, like, the weirdest fucking thing. They all just got along with their parents. It was, like, almost uncomfortable to see that in an anime.
Let's see, who is Sage again? Nobody. The other guy. When did chapter 3 end? Just now. We just ended chapter 3. Right now. We're wrapping up the stream, honestly. We've been going for, what, an hour and a half? An hour, a little longer?
Sage could have been the one with daddy issues. You left me just like my dad, son!
Yeah, actually, that would be better. I mean, I think about it, like, at least it's not like Yang scale parental issues. Holy crap. Like, my mother left me to be a part of a bandit camp. Why? We don't know. Did they ever give a clear explanation of why Raven left?
Not that I know.
He just got out.
I love...
You love what?
I remember seeing a comic once where it was like, hey, Raven, have you seen the baby? What baby? Your daughter. What? Which daughter? And Raven's just sitting on baby Yang.
I mean, that's actually sort of what happened to Yatsuhashi. Freaking like, hey mom, do you know what happened to the baby? What baby? Oh shit. Chapter 2, I'm gonna change the name. And 3.
So guys, how about that new soundtrack?
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about the soundtrack at the end here.
Guys, I am dying. I am suffering.
I mean, I've not listened to it myself, but it's a RWBY soundtrack, so I have no interest in listening to it.
It's like, so okay, the old soundtracks, they had like shit lyrics and like weird melodies and things like that. But like volume 6 and 7 were just like passionless. I
mean, yeah, that sounds about right for all of RWBY. you can feel that the energy is not going into the show quite like it used to.
Like volume 6 and 7's OP have the same drum beat, according to Fatman, he said last night. And like there's a lot of parts in different songs that I know they just took from other songs. Like Let's Get Real is just Neon Rainbow, but like slightly faster.
It's like a lot of copy and paste stuff.
Yeah, it just feels like kind of piecemeal of older songs. One of the songs, Brand New Day, sounds like the opening to Full House, but here's the thing. It's about Crow's alcoholism. It's a goofy sitcom-y song about getting over alcoholism. And I have to say, like, I usually don't like to go after an artist's actual personality unless I think something's really up there. But like that is the most like privileged, like tone deaf to take something like alcoholism and be so lighthearted about it. Just be like, goofy old me, time to pick myself up and get rid of this despair is literally how the song is. Someone in the chat mentioned This Life Is Mine. God, I wish we got another This Life Is Mine. Hero was pretty good.
I mean, I've not listened to any of them. I love hearing both Molly and Fatman rave about them, because not rave, rant. That's the term.
I just want to say there were 8 songs me and my friend listened to last night, and we started listening at 10:30, and each song was like 3 to 4 minutes long. So like, maximum like 35 minutes. But when we finished, it was 11:30 p.m.
So it took you an hour and a half or something, just an hour to do that.
An hour? No, the thing is, we listened to them straight through. So my theory is that RWBY music is a hyperbolic time chamber. Red Like Roses Part 3. I wrote a Red Like Roses Part 3 once.
What, no, wasn't there a Part 3? I thought there was a Part 3.
I don't think so.
Because I thought there was a song that was subtitled Red Like Roses Part 3.
Maybe.
It was like in volume 6, I want to say. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe there isn't a Part 3 yet.
I like how there seems to be consensus that Hero is like the not awful song of the volume.
Bradley, this is not a bubble pipe. This is an actual pipe. This is the real deal. My sister went all out for Christmas and got me this entire outfit, and I am super happy with that.
Wait, is somebody asking about Red Like is like an instrumental track? I mean, it had lyrics, but it is instrumental. It's on SoundCloud somewhere. Yeah, everyone seems to like Hero. It's kind of hard to screw up like power rock. So
someone, CJ brought up the point that, yeah, it makes sense that they made light of it because Crow's alcoholism is basically a complete joke in the show at this rate.
Which is also incredibly tone deaf.
I mean, the one thing I think they got right is that scene at Schnee Manor where he just politely turned down the drink tray. Like you could see that he was like he saw that for a moment and he was like, I better go do like things outside so I'm not tempted. Like that.
Yeah.
That's very realistic. Living with a reformed alcoholic myself, very realistic.
Yeah, but you can tell a show was made by coastal elites when alcoholism is a joke.
See, there's an editor.
No, Hero is not Ironwood's song. It's Watts's, because Watts is cool. So is Ironwood. Also, I'm not gonna. Caleb Hyles is okay. I think maybe my taste for him is that he doesn't know how to actually use his range and thinks that he could do a falsetto when he can't do a falsetto, and it's cringy. Also, I really hate YouTube singers that do like anime openings, but they're like doing it like with these like crazy like they're the cool one. It's like, bro, you are so embarrassing. They're like they got the camera on themselves, like, and there's all these crazy cuts.
Now, there's one that I actually really like, which is really because it's a silly song to begin with. It's the Eggman theme song from Sonic Adventure 2.
That slaps.
That is such a badass, and the guy did a metal cover of it, and it's amazing. It is transcendent.
I'm tired of metal covers, dude.
Yeah, but like for Eggman's theme song, it works. It really works.
That already had that in Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh no, but this is like an actually good one. The Shadow the Hedgehog one sucked.
Mm. And yes, Molly is on stream. I'm Molly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's Jonathan Young is the one who does all the crazy stuff in front of the camera. Yeah, I get them mixed up. They're all the same. They all have the same vocal range. It's like Broadway. They're all the same singer deep down.
There, I'm trying to just adjust the... Is that...
But yeah, guys, it only took them 8 years to have a song that is entirely sung by somebody not in the Williams family.
I don't know why they just don't hire more musicians. Like there were.
I never got that. Why hire someone from YouTube? They have enough money to make a DC comic. What is stopping them from hiring like a good professional singer?
Celtic is Eggman confirmed. Why, yes, of course, Sonic. I'll get you next time. Don't you worry. I always did prefer the Eggman route of invention. No lie though, the egg carrier in Sonic Adventure 1, Adventure 1 is amazing. I want that ship. It is my favorite airship in anything.
With who's gonna win? No, the danger lies. That song just hits.
Aboard the Ark, a genius at heart. I am the Eggman. That's who I am. I am the Eggman. I've got the master plan. Wear goggles the next time you do Eggman. I mean, I have goggles. I don't have Eggman style goggles though. I have like biker goggles, and like sleek goggles that are really nice.
Hold on, CJ asked while we're on the subject of songs, how do you guys feel about how a lot of the RWBY songs have lyrics that they're describing events/characters that are not what we're getting in the show? So like, it's stupid. I had, but the thing is, when you have these kind of narrative songs, they are supposed to give you more insight into a character, but not tell you things we don't see about the character. Like This Life Is Mine, we know that Weiss is like finally rebelled, and that's the whole point of the song. Like we understand. We're just getting a little more insight into exactly how she felt. That's what it's supposed to be. But you don't want to do like Neo's song, where it's like giving us this crumb of information about Neo and then never going into it in the show or in the song. It just stays at the surface level, and it's so frustrating.
What crumb does the song give about Neo?
The song is like, Roman was my friend and he died. And it's like, oh, Roman was a friend. That's your relationship.
That is not the dynamic I went for. Then again,
William should not write the show. That man can't write.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, I was like the Neo-Roman relationship was more than just friendship. It was always something like very complicated and kind of uncomfortable, but they're villains, so it fits. So like the idea I always had with them is that like they're kind of a cross between a like father-daughter but lover relationship, and it has a weird kind of like ambiguity to it where not even they know.
Oh, can you sing? There's a super chat. There is a super chat.
Oh my god. All right, clarify. Which Linkin Park song do you want?
Also, I do not sing well. By the way, Rixarts, I want you to know that I've been Facebook friends with Jeff Williams before, and his Facebook feed is like all like lefty politics. So I don't know if him writing the show would make like a better Volume 7.
I mean, Neo has issues, Matt. At least in my writing, Neo has. Numb. All right, that's the song.
No.
Numb.
The one was, I've become so numb, I can see you there. I've become so tired, so much more aware. I'm becoming this. All I want to do is be more like me and be less like you.
That is eerily fitting. Oh God, Linkin. You see, the thing is, Linkin Park ruined punk, or whatever you call it. I guess angsty. It ruined angsty music because it got the lyrics right on the first go. Like it is just perfectly encapsulates the experience of being a teenager. And it just
I like Shadow the Hedgehog butt rock.
Yeah, I'm all for that kind of shit. Like, you know,
no, don't clip it. I hate having my singing recorded.
Why did you do it on a live stream?
I was in the moment, Raymond.
The orange will not peel? Is that a line from something?
I don't know. I think he's just parodying one of the songs.
Clip that. Really, it was a joke. Why would left-leaning politics make RWBY worse or not help? The thing is, like, the problem, if you want to get in my little touch on that, a lot of problem I have with a lot of left-leaning politics in media is that it overrides the need to actually write well. It's very tribalistic in its nature, where it overpowers the senses, so to speak. So
they're trying to write like a message and not a story.
Yeah, and it becomes very apparent as you go on that it's all about focusing on the message as opposed to focusing on the story.
Steven Universe.
The one could argue that. I think you can have a lot of those themes included well. It's just that you have to be much more delicate with them. You can't handle them. You can't handle them like a cudgel. Like, yeah, The Last of Us 2. Yes. I don't know.
Yeah, the Neil Druckmann effect.
The Neil Druckmann effect. Hell, it's sad when the guy who wrote Detroit Become Human is better at writing politics than you are. And even that, like, the thing is, he's actually better because he actually explores all the different routes of, like, the consequence to the actions. Like, that game necessitates different points of view on things, where, like, you actually enter moral gray areas, even though they're very trying to create, like, a racial allegory with that story. But, like, I don't know. The androids can be painted pretty badly in that game. Like, it can backfire pretty hard.
I mean, we saw what happened with RWBY when they put left-wing politics in it. We got Volume 7. We got the election.
Yeah, oh god, that was hilarious. Like, no one just noticed that, 90% of the vote was in, and it was leaning towards Robin, and then, like, 3% later, ticking up in the background, it just slowly goes to Jacques. Like, oh, and for the record, no, sorry, you go.
I mean, like, honestly, the moment I saw that her name was Robin Hill, I think a part of me died.
Yeah. All right, we should probably stop talking shop like that. We should probably start wrapping up. How long have we been going? Oh, almost, wow. 2 hours? What? Oh, sorry, yeah. It says we've been going for 1 hour and 44 minutes. Yeah, so basically, on the final note of that, it's left-wing politics can work. It's just that very often the people that write them are terrible writers that don't understand how to be subtle. They just don't understand how to thread it in without it being contradictory.
I remember like the writer of She-Ra being like, "We base them off churches, get it?
Like,
the villains were Christians all along."
And I mean, I don't consider it that necessarily, because there are things they base them on. I think they actually did, like, I think the She-Ra writers are actually better at it, honestly. I think the She-Ra writers...
That's on their Twitter. They just, like, flat out...
Oh, yeah, no, they flat out stated it on their Twitter, but, like, it didn't connect for me until after they said it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. So it was actually very good at being subtle in that, like, oh, I wasn't thinking about this while I was watching it. I was only thinking about it afterwards, as opposed to everything else where it's like very flatly stated, like, we just needed a reason to fuse.
We just needed a reason to fuse.
Yeah, no, I Molly doesn't have a high opinion of it. I love She-Ra. I think it definitely needed a season 6, but
fight me.
Yeah.
To the chat.
I might actually
value
lose.
this friendship too much.
I think we can agree on that. She-Ra is much better than RWBY. Can we agree on that?
I mean, like
it has a plot.
My writing when I was 17 was better than RWBY. The bar is not high here.
I mean, yeah, fair. It also has a better cat girl.
No, Catra's a shitty person.
Okay, but is she worse than Blake?
As
a character.
Morally, yes. Morally, yes.
As a character.
As a character, not until season 4.
Ooh, that's some big
I can say... Also, Blake isn't, like, fetish. Isn't, like, a fetish character. You can't tell me... You can't tell me that they didn't design a cat girl with a skin-tight bodysuit who sometimes walks on all four and has a whip and she's angry and sadistic. Like, Raymond, we need to be real here.
Oh, the thing is, I'm not. What?
I like the part where she was tied up and started crying, because that's when it connected for me. I'm like, I see it now. I get it now.
Last one. This is a big brain fixing. Switch Robin and Marrow his political and she and Aesop for information. I have some crazy ideas for Robin, honestly. And so that's gonna be fun when I get to her. I'm just not enjoying like the big thing is I am dreading Volume 5. I'm dreading Volume 5. It is going to be a mess of a volume to fix. Because it's going to be mostly my own original work, which means the Sketchy Huntsmen are going to have their work cut out for them.
Uh-oh.
What?
Nothing. So she said the work cut out for them.
Oh, yeah.
The only, like, I don't want to step on your toes. The only thing I would recommend is I would love it if Winter was tied in more with the Aesops. Because when I first saw them, I thought they were going to be, like, her squad or something. I don't know what Winter does. You have, like, as someone who's, like,
I have big ideas for Winter, honestly. That, too.
Good. Keep her hair down and honestly, all feral.
I knew exactly where you're going. Tie Winter... No, you want Winter tied up more. That's what you want.
Yeah. No, not like that. I said I want her tied more into the story.
You want to call me out on Catra, I'll call you out on Winter.
Me being interested in Winter is different than a character just blatantly being a fetish. And then the dominatrix cat girl. I
mean, frankly, if anyone captured my heart in that show, it's Entrapta. I think we can all
Everybody
agree
likes Entrapta.
Exactly!
She's the most woke character in the show. She forgot who Glimmer was, like any good person should be able to.
Oh, man. Actually, I really like Perfume at the end there, too.
I wasn't able to get through Volume 5. Entrapta.
All right. So, we'll call it there for the day. It is... Oh, it's already past 6. I gotta go find some dinner. Might be on later. We'll see how my schedule wraps up. Keep an eye on Twitter, everyone. And we'll catch you all on the flip side.
Bye.